New information and updated stories. K2 News at 11 on your side.
James T. Kirk was a great man, but that was another life.
This week on After Movies, one of the most anticipated movies of the year, J.J. Abrams' Star Trek.
Can I say one thing?
What?
I like your outfit. You look very nice.
Can Mos Def and Donald Faison deliver in Next Day Air?
You just might be the sweetest man I've ever met. You must have been a very good boy.
Michael Keaton stars in his directorial debut, The Merry Gentleman.
This man is a genius.
Plus, from vampire to Salvador Dali, Twilight's Robert Pattinson takes on a very different role in Little Ashes.
Are you afraid or aren't you?
I will not allow you to lecture me.
Then why do you stop me?
Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock make a comeback to the big screen. Hey, everybody, I'm Ben Lyons from E! Entertainment.
And I'm Ben Mankiewicz from Turner Classic Movies. Coming to theaters this weekend, Star Trek, a film we had first with an early review last week. Like Wolverine, this 11th rendition of Star Trek starts at the beginning, telling a story Trekkies, or Trekkers, don't want to offend anyone, have always wanted, how the crew of the original series first got together. Here's a particularly good scene. At Starfleet Academy, James T. Kirk and Dr. Leonard Bones McCoy first meet.
I may throw up on you.
I think these things are pretty safe.
Don't pander to me, kid. One tiny crack in the hull and our blood boils in 13 seconds. Solar flare might crop up, cook us in our seats. And wait till you're sitting pretty with a case of Andorian shingles. See if you're still so relaxed when your eyeballs are bleeding.
Real credit to the casting here. Chris Pine, without much of a resume, is an intriguing young Kirk. Carl Urban is consistently funny and earnest as cantankerous Dr. McCoy. Zachary Quinto really nails Spock. He even looks like him. But then, I've always thought all Vulcans look alike. Zoe Saldana is smart and sexy as communications officer Lieutenant Uhura. And Simon Pegg is wonderfully funny as the engineer, Scotty.
Are you a member of Starfleet?
Yes. Can I get a towel?
Under penalty of court-martial, I order you to explain to me how you were able to beam aboard this ship while moving at warp.
Well,
Don't answer him.
You will answer me.
What director J.J. Abrams and writers Roberto Orci and Alex Kurtzman have done is deliver a thoughtful, character-driven science fiction picture about the Federation's battle with the Romulans that will appeal both to diehard Trekkies and movie fans in general. See Star Trek.
Casting and story, really the key to this movie's success. I'm going to start with the young ensemble cast. Not a bad performance in the movie.
Right.
Where I had some issues with Watchmen, which I enjoyed, is that some of the performances dominated the others in the cast. Here, everybody making the most of their screen time. You mentioned Chris Pine and Quinto, really the core of the film. Their relationship develops nicely on screen. But also Anton Yelchin and John Cho, and even Winona Ryder in a few moments as Spock's mother.
Human mother, right?
Human mother. Really, really strong stuff from everybody in the cast.
You know, there are sort of shout-outs to the original series here, a bunch of them. The Vulcan nerve pinch, Dr. McCoy coming into a room and saying, "Damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor, not a physicist."
Live long and prosper and the whole thing.
Nice job there with that. Even maybe the best one, the random crew member in the red shirt going down on a mission. You know he's dead.
I mean, I know you weren't as crazy about the visual effects as I was in this film. I think the movie did a great job of establishing itself on Earth and then taking it to outer space. And that sequence on the jump down to stop the drill was just awesome. Really popped off the screen.
That was impressive. But none of those shout-outs to the original series took away from it if you're not familiar with it. It was a very inclusive film, which I think was a challenge for J.J.
It's
Abrams.
a pop culture movie, and it really crosses over and satisfies those hardcore fans and appeals to a wider audience. Really easy to say to do, but harder to execute, and they were able to do it nicely. I'm going to say see Star Trek.
Our next film marks the directorial debut of actor Michael Keaton, who also stars in The Merry Gentleman. Keaton plays Frank Logan, a lonely, conflicted hitman. After assassinating a man in an office from a nearby building, Keaton decides to kill himself by jumping to his death. But from the street below, Kate, played by Kelly MacDonald, sees him and she screams, causing Frank to stumble backwards to safety and also out of his funk. He wants to thank her, so he tries to track her down, and when he finds her, their encounter is an odd one.
Hello?
You need help?
Yeah. Thanks again.
Found a girl under a tree.
Sorry.
You find presents under a tree. I found a girl under a tree.
You must have been a very good boy.
McDonald is the second of the three leads in the film, and she is terrific. An abused wife hiding from her husband, she's scared and lonesome, but credibly cheerful. The third principal character is a cop investigating the murder, a recovering alcoholic played with gentle intensity and warm humor by Tom Bastunis, a Chicago Second City veteran who needs to work more. Both men have feelings for Kate, and their subtle confrontation is a particularly strong scene.
I met her just before Christmas. She ever tell you about that deal? Really? Yeah, she saw a guy on the roof of a building, you know. She thought he was a jumper. Turned out, he just killed someone. I can't believe she didn't tell you about this. Well, she must not have known you then.
A lot goes on in this film without much being said. A credit to Keaton, who shoots it deliberately and thoughtfully in a film demonstrating there should be a lot more work on both sides of the camera ahead for Michael Keaton. This film is out now in limited release, but make an effort and go see it.
Kelly MacDonald is tremendous in this movie.
Yes,
Last
really
we
is.
saw her was in No Country for Old Men, playing Josh Brolin's wife, and she's got that quality on screen. We say, who is that? I want to learn more about her. And here she is playing a woman trying to start her life over in a film that almost feels like from another era. This is something that could have been in the 1970s. Stripped down, character-driven. Michael Keaton stars and directs, but this is not his movie by any means.
He gets out of the way for Bastunis and Kelly MacDonald.
Absolutely. Yeah. Bastunis also a producer on the film.
Right,
it's obviously a labor of love for Michael Keaton getting this smaller film made, but an interesting film with some really well thought out and well grounded characters, and I was surprised by it. I enjoyed it.
You know, Keaton lets silence tell a lot of the story here, both in his character when he's acting and as he's directing. There are moments when nobody says anything, and those moments, they don't lag.
Sometimes that's the most effective means for telling the story, and it really works here in The Merry Gentleman. I'm going to say you should see it. Coming up next, Mos Def and Donald Faison deliver a life-changing package in Next Day Air.
And later, Robert Pattinson breaks away from Twilight in Little Ashes.
Vive la révolution!
Hi there. Looks like you found your car insurance.
Yeah, but wow, it looks like you guys have everything.
We sure do. We help millions of people save. Look, we're #1 in motorcycle insurance, a leader in boat and RV, and...
Oh, wait, let me guess. You're the #1 truck insurer.
Wow, first guess!
Nailed it.
Oh, you're psychic! What am I thinking of right now?
Tacos?
Yes! Helping you save money no matter what you drive. Now that's Progressive. Call or click today.
The smell of homemade chili.
Risotto with truffles.
Depends on what the neighbors are cooking.
Whatever scents fill your household, Tidy Cat Scoop neutralizes the odors of multiple cats. Tidy Cat Scoop. Keep home smelling like home.
Hey, Mom, check out Toby's new trick.
Toby! Call for a $109 special.
Call 1-800-STEAMER. Stanley Steamer gets carpet cleaner.
K2 is on your side and wants to make your digital TV transition as smooth as possible. As part of this change, some stations will switch to a UHF signal. K2 is one of those stations. It's important that you have a combination UHF-VHF antenna and components that can pass these signals. Distance and location can affect your ability to receive TV signals clearly. Some viewers may even experience a total signal loss. For a map of those specific areas, head to KATU.com. K2 on your side.
Mom! Don't mommy me.
From first-time feature director Benny Boom, best known for his work in the world of hip-hop music videos, comes Next Day Air, starring Donald Faison, Wood Harris, and Mike Epps. Faison works for his mother, playing a lazy delivery boy at a shipping company alongside the talented actor Mos Def.
How you gonna get fired, man? I wish they would. I'd be on Lion King crying. This is terrible discrimination.
He mistakenly delivers a box filled with cocaine to a group of delighted criminals.
I know this ain't what I think it is.
It is! Yes! Hold it. Am I dreaming? Yes! No. This is too much like a dream. Where did this come from? God sent that.
Mike Epps and Wood Harris play the small-minded criminals who quickly try to arrange a deal with a local kingpin to sell the drugs before they get caught. Eventually, all those involved converge in a bloody shootout that attempts to connect the interwoven plot lines that have been established throughout the film.
Yo, what's up?
I dropped the box off here. It's the wrong address. So do you have it?
Well, we did have it.
Say what you want about the movies of Tyler Perry or even the recently released Obsessed, but those films, for the most part, at least project positive images of intelligent, powerful, and sophisticated minority characters, while Next Day Air is just another silly hood comedy that isn't really that funny. Why this is being released in theaters and not on DVD, I don't understand. From the actors on screen to the filmmakers behind the scenes, it seems everyone is just trying to make a quick buck. Save your money and skip it.
I think it's being released, Ben, into theaters because I think it's funny and I think people will by and large like it. I mean, yeah, these aren't particularly positive images of blacks or Latinos, but the fact of the matter is it's a movie about black criminals and Latino criminals.
We've seen this movie so many times, the dim-witted criminals who are smoking and drinking and cursing. This time it's excessively violent. Somebody gets their tongue cut out. All the gunshot wounds are
Could have done without the tongue getting cut off.
Could have done without that,
yeah,
right? And
yeah.
it's not that funny. I've seen much funnier films from Mike Epps.
I don't see what your problem is. If it's a movie about black criminals, then it's going to have black criminals.
It's not
in it.
witty,
Yeah.
it's not sharp. The supporting characters beyond Wood Harris are just thrown in the mix to add more cursing and violence and sex in the movie. Just a ridiculous
I like movies about small-time crooks, and this did have, to me, kind of a Guy Ritchie feel. I mean, Rock and Roller, one of my favorite movies of last year, it's not that good, but, you know, like Snatch and Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, I thought this was sort of an amusing tale of incompetent criminals.
Why Guy Ritchie is great is because he finds the humor in the underworld, and his movies are gangster movies, but they're stylized. And I was expecting that from Benny Boom, a video director. You think Francis Lawrence, Spike Jonze, F. Gary Gray, so many directors, Brett Ratner, come out of the world of music videos, take that next step to filmmaking. He doesn't take it with this one.
I thought this was a commendable first effort, and I think you should go ahead and see Next Day Air.
Coming up next, Twilight's Robert Pattinson takes on a completely different role in Little Ashes.
And on next week's show, we'll review Tom Hanks in Ron Howard's highly anticipated follow-up to The Da Vinci Code, Angels and Demons.
They've come for their revenge.
Plus, Jennifer Aniston and Woody Harrelson make an unlikely couple in management.
I need a certain kind of love.
Now, hot off the grill with Izzy's Chef Marco.
With times as tough as they are, it's nice to find things as tender as my marinated tri-tip beef. Specially seasoned for Latin American flavor and so tender it cuts like butter. Or these tender Hawaiian pork kebabs with pineapple, onions, peppers, and slow-smoked pork, specially glazed and grilled to perfection. It's one hula of a deal. Believe me, tri-tip beef and pork kebabs. Only at Izzy's, where we're now serving more than you can shake a stick at.
Izzy's.
Buying a car should never be a hassle. That is why I created our No Bull policy. That means that there is only one professional from drive up to delivery. Here, there are no confusing markups, addendums, or negotiations. Our lowest price is marked on every car every day. And that's No Bull. My name is Dave Jackner, one of the owners of Wilsonville Toyota. Come and visit the dealership that's changing it all.
Batteries Plus is your one-stop source for anything that needs a battery. Remember, if it needs a battery, all you need is Batteries Plus, America's battery experts.
Visit one of our Portland, Beaverton, Salem, or Vancouver locations.
You know what, Mike? I'm moving in.
What, with me?
What are you, crazy? I'm moving into La Quinta. These low rates are cheaper than my mortgage.
What about your family?
They're gonna love your house. Thanks, Chief.
Wake up on the bright side at La Quinta Inns and Suites with rates from $59. La Quinta.
Spain is rotting from the inside. There has to be complete revolution.
Morality, immorality, good, bad. We have to smash that to pieces.
Set in Spain during the 1920s and 30s, Little Ashes tells the story of the intimate relationship between artist Salvador Dali and poet Federico Garcia Lorca. The story begins in Madrid at the university where Dali first meets Lorca, played by Javier Beltran, as well as filmmaker Luis Buñuel, played by Matthew McNulty.
Interests, affiliations.
Only data, anarchy, and the construction of genius.
Who's genius?
My own.
Bravo.
Yep, believe it or not, that's Twilight star Robert Pattinson as the young Dali in a film that was shot before his star-making role. The three men form a clique of the most modern, forward-thinking intellectuals of their day, connected by a shared drive to be creative and think freely in the face of Spain's ever-growing fascist regime. When Buñuel decides to take his work to Paris, thus leaving Dali and Lorca on their own, the two form an intimate trust as confidants and lovers.
Even then, I realized that if I'm going to be anything more than average, if anyone is going to remember me, then I need to go further in everything, in art, in life.
The engaging subject matter is not fully brought to life, in large part due to a daring yet uninspired turn as Dali by Pattinson. He plays the role at polar opposites, too sheepish and distant at the beginning, and far too flamboyant and over the top towards the end. Beltran does deliver a solid performance, but filmmaker Paul Morrison's attempts to stylize certain key scenes, such as Dali gallivanting through Paris, feel forced and inconsistent. A noble effort that ultimately left me disappointed and unfulfilled. I'm going to say skip it.
Ben, I was a lot more impressed with Rob Pattinson in this movie than you were, particularly the scenes that I would think might actually be tougher. Those tender moments, those love scenes that he had with Javier Beltran. I thought those were very good from both of them, by the way. And you might think that those scenes would be difficult for an actor, whereas the sort of more grandiose scenes, for example, when Pattinson quits the university in Madrid, when Dali quits the university because the professors there they're not worthy to judge his work. He's supposed to be over the top. That worked for me less.
I never lost the fact that I was watching Robert Pattinson.
Really?
Also, the wig and iconic mustache look ridiculous on him. He doesn't age
Dali
gracefully.
himself looked a bit
I know
ridiculous.
he looked ridiculous in real life, but here it never became part of who he was playing. It was definitely an added-on feature to him that was distracting throughout.
You know, this is an interesting story because we, of course, don't really know. There's a lot of debate about whether Dali and Lorca had an affair. And I like the conflict inside the two men. We got Lorca, sort of, who is clearly gay, but is sort of really confined by the restrictions of his devout Catholicism. Dali, on the other hand, he's like essentially